You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Vermel.
Well, thank you for joining us for this Halloween edition of American Medicine Today. Woohoo! I'm Kimberly Vermel, joined by Ethan Euchre.
I'm scary just daily.
You guys are enough scary. You don't need to make those noises.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And that man over there that's already talking is the wound-up, world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati.
What in God's name was that?
I don't know.
That's a winding.
He's getting wound up. I get it.
Well, it's going to be an exciting show. You know, what's great for me is when I first started, I wanted to know what all the hoopla was about. What is it about this 11-acre facility that helped people? Is it true what they say? Is it true they have 98.75% patient-reported success? So when I started, I wanted to get in that OR, and I viewed a multitude of surgeries. And the one thing that always happened was that the patients were moving around and they were happy and they were pain-free. Sometimes they were in tears along with their families because I couldn't believe for the first time in so many years they were no longer in pain. People talking about how their attitudes had been just totally changed by the amount of pain they were in. The loved ones, a lot of the patients went through and were considering divorce because things were so bad. And this is something where the patients suffer with the pain, but you know what? So do the loved ones and their families. Because they don't understand that inner pain. They see how maybe it's affecting them, but they're not feeling that agonizing pain that a lot of other doctors have told them that there's nothing that can be done to help them. Or you need to go through these invasive procedures. You need hardware. Well, you know what? Heavy metal plays well as far as music, but
Right.
doesn't play so well on the back.
Not at all.
Heavy metal, screws, plates, rods, those things need to be kept in your toolbox, not put in under the guise of minimal invasion. Those are things that should not be done. I don't care if it's a small hole that they make them through, but to reintroduce highly invasive techniques in the guise of minimal invasion, that just... It doesn't sit well with me. And you know what? As a patient, it shouldn't sit well with you either. Well, Dr. Bonati has come up with methods and instrumentation that remove the hardware, and they can untangle the mangled nerves that those things cause in people. He has tremendous results with that. We used to say nearly half our patients have suffered somewhere else previous to coming to us. Well, now that number's in the 60% range. And it's amazing that you're able to have such high success even with people that have had failed surgeries elsewhere. And those failed surgeries happen right here in the Tampa Bay area. Mm-hmm. If people pretend that they do the Bonati procedures, call them out on their lies. They are blatant, in-your-face lies. They use things that are somewhat similar, but they don't have the knowledge and the expertise to properly execute the Bonati spine procedures. So therefore, they don't yield the results. So be very careful out there when somebody pretends, because there's a lot of leaving scars with nothing being done. And unfortunately, those people have to live with it until they hear about Bonati, and then we're able to get them back to good working order and helping them regain their strength and get back in motion. Well, we have an exciting show. We have Dr. Michael Fossel. He's going to be speaking about the telomerase revolution.
It's like reversing aging, basically. They're on the cusp of a breakthrough here. I think it's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, we have a little bit of Brock's Crock coming up, so that should be exciting. But up first...
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Elizabeth Crooks from Alexandria, Louisiana. She underwent the Bonati spine procedures. So thank you for joining us, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us how you came to be in pain? Were you in an accident?
Yes, 4 years ago.
Okay.
It was Easter, and we were going to take a 4-generation picture with my mom and my daughter and her daughter. And three of us sat on a swing that had been there for a long time.
Right.
And it was fastened to a tree limb.
Uh-huh.
And my granddaughter went around the back to take the picture. Mm-hmm. And when she put her little hand on the chain, the limb broke.
Ooh.
And down came the limb on top of my head. I had a concussion.
It came down on your head?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Were you the only one hit and injured by this limb?
Yes.
Wow. That's not good. So what happened? What was the damage?
I had a concussion.
Uh-huh.
My neck was broke. C1, which is the disc that's up into your skull and your neck. It's one that usually whenever it breaks, you're gone.
Right.
Well, mine broke in 4 different places.
Wow.
Holy cow.
But I'm here to tell the story.
Yeah.
My family rushed me to the hospital.
Okay.
Where at the hospital, the doctor wanted to do surgery. He wanted to screw my head to my shoulders.
Okay.
And put a rod down my back.
Right.
That I would be immobile and possibly not be able to walk.
Okay.
And my family said, no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
We're not going to do that. So they took me, a doctor in New Orleans by the name of Steck.
Okay.
He sent a private plane for me. Mm-hmm. I went to a rehab at West Jefferson.
Okay.
And I was there for almost a month.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
They did no surgery there. He said, I might need surgery later on, but not now. But I had a terrific headache after all this.
I bet.
And it would not go away. It was horrible. And I had pain in my neck. I had 2 prior surgeries years ago.
Okay.
And my son had went to Bonatti with his back. And it was a year after the accident. In fact, it was a year because we were there for Easter, and I was able to go to church there in Hudson.
Right.
But he kept saying, Mama, you need to go, you need to go. So I sent all my documentation to the Bonatti Clinic, which it was amazing how good they were and how much they cared about me and helping me.
Right.
And so we packed up to go to. And when we got there, we had to do a few little things.
Okay.
But then they got me ready, and I had 2 invasive surgeries on the back of my neck. The first one
non-invasive
relieved my pain totally.
Yeah, non-invasive.
Non-invasive procedures.
Non-invasive, right.
Yeah.
It relieved my headaches. It was like a light switch.
While you were on the table during the procedure, you're saying you immediately
right, and I was able to see what he was doing
right.
the whole time, and also my husband was able to go in with me, which gave me comfort.
Right.
To know that he was by me.
Right.
But it was like a light switch the headaches after he did what he did, the light, the switch went down and no more headaches.
That's fantastic.
Unbelievable. And obviously, you just said, Elizabeth, you watched the procedure. For those listening who don't know how it works, it's called conscious IV sedation.
You interact.
You are able to interact with the surgeon while your procedure is happening, and there's a screen that you can watch that procedure going on. And also, as you mentioned, your loved ones can be in the room with you, which is pretty incredible as well. So you said, like a light switch, pain relief immediately. Anything else remarkable happened during the procedure?
It was so good to have people that can do this, can actually take away pain and not have surgeries that are so binding. and everyone was so good to me there, and called to check on me afterwards when I came home. Mm-hmm. And you don't see that every day.
No, you don't. Let me back you up just real quick. You talked about how you had the horrible migraines, but what were some of the activities you did that when you were in pain you were unable to do?
Oh, I mean, it's like everywhere you went, you carried that headache with you.
Okay.
And you didn't want to do anything hardly. I really didn't like to go out.
Okay.
I mean, I went to work.
Okay.
I actually went to work 8 months after
wow.
The accident.
Right.
But it was hard to concentrate on what I was doing with that headache.
And affecting your sleeping?
Oh, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just scream in pain.
That in and of itself, sleep deprivation in and of itself would make life tasks much more difficult. Add into that migraine headaches on top of that and any radiating pain, anything like that from that accident where the tree limb hit your head. You were so lucky to be alive.
Right.
Well, how are you feeling?
I thank him so much.
Well, how are you doing now?
Yeah, how are you feeling today?
I am doing great.
Oh, well, that's great to
hear.
Still
pain-free?
Still pain-free, no headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Well, you need to send us some photos.
Yeah.
Because we enjoy your success as much as you do. So,
thank you so much.
Well, continued good health, and because of your great relief, would you feel confident in telling other people if you saw them suffering to come to Bonati?
I have. I've sent several people already down there.
Excellent.
They've had the same. Well, they had different issues, but I have sent them down there.
Oh, that's great.
To the Bonati Clinic to get them help.
Oh.
Excellent.
Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Continued good health.
Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, you're listening to American Medicine Today. If you are suffering like Elizabeth did, or if you know of anyone that has neck or back pain, sometimes even shoulder, knee pain, foot pain, reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute because usually it can be traced back to your spine. 855-267-0483 or visit Bonati.com. Coming up after the break, make sure you stay tuned. You'll hear more on American Medicine Today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
He did the mash. He did the monster mash. The monster mash.
Graveyard Smash.
He did the mash.
Yeah.
He did the mash.
Thank you for listening to American Medicine Today. Ow.
We had to play that song.
I know. Happy Halloween, everyone. You're listening to American Medicine Today. Yeah. I am Kimberly Bermel, joined by our radio executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here as always.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonatti of the Bonatti Spine Institute.
Hello.
How's it going, Doc?
Good.
You feeling good today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to do the monster mash.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had the whole I
just need to put my face on and that's enough.
No, but in all seriousness, folks, we talk about things in medicine. So just be very careful this Halloween with the kiddos, because there are so many chemicals and toxic things in some of the makeups that are out there that the children may be using this Halloween. It's making people really ill.
Yeah, what were you saying, Doc? Something about be wary of makeup from China because there's toxins in it and things like that.
Well, yeah, I just heard some information that a lot of kids were being sick last year because they were using some type of a makeup that they, when you buy those disguises, those costumes, they also come with makeup, some things that you stick in your face and the whole thing. And you need to be very careful. If that thing comes with made in China, don't buy it. And if you buy something, be very sure that you have a makeup that you need to put on the kid. Do not put that makeup because it's full of lead and other type of toxics. And because they don't have a regulatory system like we have here in the United States, they just do that.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
If somebody gets sick, it's bad luck.
Right.
So no, don't put your kids in that situation.
And there's also what they're looking to be is candy, but it's really drugs that are shaped like little hard candies for the kids to eat.
I saw some of those.
You
actually
need to be so careful.
Just this morning, they did a whole expose on it, and there were some that were shaped like Superman's shield with the S on it, and it could be ecstasy. It could be all kinds of crazy stuff.
We need to be so careful with our kids.
It's insane. I mean, when we were kids going out, you could walk around by yourself and didn't really have to worry about candy. You'd hear these urban legends about razor blades and stuff like that, but.
So the society's getting worse and worse.
It is, unfortunately.
Yep.
So just make sure you do your due diligence and look through your kids' candies before they start eating them. Doc, I know you wanted to address some things that people suffer from where they come out and they seek out the Bonatti Spine Institute. We're talking about headaches. You had mentioned Alzheimer's. Why don't you get into that?
Well, it's very curious. When you have 46,000 procedures performed, you start to find things and associate things that nobody else can do it because that enormous amount of experience gets patients that they teach you something. And in the beginning, you may not realize. And then suddenly you start to put together, and when that thing becomes once and once again, then suddenly you go, oh, this is something that is new, and we can correct the problem in this way. So there are situations with Alzheimer's, with the headaches, with the whiplash injury, with fibromyalgia, with the back, different types of back pains, and with arachnoiditis.
Yes.
All these situations that they are right now in the arsenal of the physicians that they said nothing can be done. Well, I have the impression that we have not answers yet, but yes, we do have some type of a response that is very surprising. For example, I found that patients that they come with me to us that they have a situation of confusion. They're losing their memory. They are sometimes in a situation that they're losing words when they communicate. They wake up in the morning and they don't know if it is morning or it's night, or they get in a car and they don't know where they are going, and they get lost.
Yeah.
Well, I found something that I'm not going to tell you that this is an answer, but I'm going to tell you that it's curious.
Right.
People who has a spinal stenosis on the cervical spine, very, very much, it happens to everybody after 60, 70, 80, they start to have stenosis on this area.
Sure.
And I found people that they have a tremendous amount of disorientation, or they were losing themselves. They were saying, I'm losing my concentration. I cannot talk to people because I cannot find the words and things like that. Or I have my keys and I don't know where I put my keys. Or I get in the car and I don't know where I park the car. Now, everybody has problems like lapses like that.
Sure.
But when that thing becomes just
routine,
worrisome, you happens to you all the time, you need to have some help. I found that if we decompress in stenotic cervical spine, but by levels on the areas that they are more complained, that they are more compressed, I found that these people get some of the memory back.
Sure.
Really? And I am thinking that the situation is more neurological, more compression on the cervical spine than really problems associated with the brain.
Right.
Now, I'm telling you crazy things. It's just an observation.
Well, yeah, I remember you mentioning this before, and we've had a lot of people on, researchers at the Mayo Clinic and all of this, that are talking about amyloids and things of that nature in the actual brain tissue. And I remember you sort of telling us this anecdotal evidence of memories coming back. So maybe there is a link. You don't know.
Well, what really happened probably is just bad circulation to the brain. Because remember that when you have that compression there, you also have compression on the cervical vertebral artery, and that probably can be one of the causes. Now, happens the same thing that we found headaches, and it's amazing to see that today I know perfectly how to correct a headache in a person who has headaches for a long time.
Well, I know that one firsthand.
Whiplash and fibromyalgia are terminologies that they use in patients, and sometimes somebody with whiplash is 7 years in pain with headaches and pain on the arms, and then they become diagnosed with fibromyalgia. This is something that today we can correct it. And there are different types of back pains that also they are being studied. Whether the problem is the pain is in the middle of the back is one type of injury. Pain that goes like in a horseshoe in the back is another type of problem. Patient that is when they sit and hurt, and when they stand up hurt, but when they walk they are fine, is another type of problem.
Right. These are all things that can be treated with the Bonati spine procedures.
Yeah, there are situations that when we analyze that one, we're very surprised that the patient goes and say, I have this one for so long and it's gone. And I go, well, we start to take more, being aware more of these problems. Right. I have people that sometimes come to us with arachnoiditis, diagnosed and the whole thing, and we go and treat these patients with some type of a procedure that decompress the area that is creating that type of a pain, and the patient say, well, my pain is gone. So there are things in medicine today that are being diagnosed, and I think they are related to some problems on the spine, and it's not really enough analyzed yet.
So in other words, it's not all in your head and made up in your mind. These are true pains that you are feeling. If you've been told that, reach out to Bonati at Bonati.com. Well, if you have any comments or questions, tweet at Dr. Bonati or use hashtag American Medicine Today.
Well, we also have coming up Dr. Michael Fossel.
Oh, yes, we do. Michael Fossel on the telomerase revolution, how you can reverse the signs of aging. This is amazing stuff. Make sure you stay tuned.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You are listening to American Medicine Today, and I am Kimberly Brumell, joined by our radio executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
I am Ethan Euchre.
Yes, you are. Yes. And that man over there is world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati.
What is that?
Well, he's rearing and ready to go for our next segment about Brock's Crock. Mm-hmm. But we have a very exciting guest that I know you're going to love, Dr. Bonati. Mm-hmm. We're here with Dr. Michael Fossel, neurobiologist and author of the telomerase, right? Telomerase? Revolution.
Telomerase.
Yes, Revolution, the enzyme that holds the key to human aging. And we will soon lead to longer, healthier lives. Well, thank you for joining us, Dr. Fossel.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually discussed this topic before.
Telomeres and
telomerase and telomerase. And let's just sort of break it down for the layperson, Dr. Fossel, what telomeres are.
Well, it's the piece at the end of your chromosome, and nobody would care except that sets the pace of gene expression for the rest of the cell. So, anybody as we get older has all sorts of things go wrong, and it turns out that's because of a change in gene expression. It turns out that's because the telomere is sort of the conductor for the orchestra.
Ah.
Interesting. Okay.
So, how that works?
There you go, Doc.
Pretty well generally. But the problem is that as our cells get older, a great many of them slow down their DNA repair and the recycling of proteins and general cell maintenance. And the result of that is things like arteriosclerotic disease and Alzheimer's disease and a number of other changes, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, things that we'd like to do something about. And most of the treatments we have now aren't as effective as we'd like to be. So I think we can do a lot better. That's why we're going to aim directly at Alzheimer's. For one thing, there's really no treatment for it. I think we can do a lot better than that.
In what ways can we, activate the telomerase or telomeres? How do we get that into our system so we can benefit from age reversal, so to speak, and staying youthful and young, and lead those healthier lives? How do we do that?
Well, let me give you three answers. The first answer is we all know the general advice. It's your doctor gives it to you, your grandmother's told you all these things, and a lot of my patients don't do it anyway. They, eat right, exercise regularly, the kind of things we all know.
Sure.
And that may help slow some of the process. But to actually set it back, there are a few products in the market that might have an effect, some telomerase activators. There's question about it, and it's pretty clear that they're not as effective as we'd like them to be. It's also sometimes hard to be sure you're getting what you'd like to get. But beyond that, I think we can do a lot better by using the same gene that's normal in human beings, putting it into, as it were, rewind the clock in the cells and let them go back to taking care of, for example, your brain the way they normally do.
Well, let me ask you this. I know it's a product on the market that's telomerase 65. How they come in some type of capsules. If you start to take that medication, what is your expectation? How you know if you evolve? I mean, the next day you're going to wake up in your bed. It's going to be like you're supposed to be in a crib or something like that, or what?
You're an infant. You wake up an infant.
No, I know. The expectations are probably fairly unrealistic. I remember Bill Andrews, when he first started on it, thought that perhaps he'd wake up in a couple of days and be different. And that's just not the way the body actually works. There are a couple of problems. One is, as I say, it's sometimes not clear when you buy things in the market that they are what they're purported to be. But even if you get what's clearly some of the astralogicides that are effective, it's also clear that they're not as effective, as I say, as we'd like them to be. They're probably about 5% as effective as they'd like to be. And there are other...
let me interrupt you a little bit.
Yep.
You said that it's not as effective as we like to be. How if it is very little effective, it still is effective. Do you have some percentage, something that these things are effective, even if it's a little bit?
Well, there are two published articles on that. They've looked at human trials, one in 2011, one in 2013. And there are a lot of indicators that it seems to reset some of the cellular aging processes. But it's also clear that it doesn't stop all disease, nor does it turn you back to age 30. So I think, again, we can probably do better than that, particularly for Alzheimer's.
How can you do better? Tell me a little bit.
Well, as you know, probably, I think you guys have had Bill Andrews on before, for example.
We have.
As you know, there are a lot of people looking at telomerase activating compounds. There are some 4 different approaches that could be used that I've talked about for 20 years. I sort of got Bill involved in pursuing this clinically. And I think probably in some ways the most elegant approach is the one that I've suggested Bill take, and he's been working on it harder than anyone. But in the last couple of years, it's been clear that what we probably can do is actually take the normal human gene for telomerase, HTERT it's called, and put it into cells so that we essentially, we don't need an activator. We actually use the gene temporarily to reset the aging process. And when we do that in animals, it's very effective. It clearly resets the telomeres, not just a little bit, but a great deal.
Wow.
The question is, what happens if we do that to patients? We'd like to find out. We will. We're going to pursue this with FDA trials.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we've
and how you do that? Are the microcosmos or how?
Well, there are a couple of ways you could do it, but probably the most effective way now, given our technology, is to use what's called a viral vector. You take a virus, you remove everything on the inside that you don't want, and you simply use the envelope. And I mean that as a good analogy. It's sort of like a letter in an envelope. You remove the letter that you don't want, you keep the envelope, and you put your own letter inside. In this case, we put the HTERT gene and 2 other genes that help us, and we deliver that to the body, and we know that it goes to almost all the cells we'd like to. So,
wow. But do you do that one in a microscopic way, in an injection way, in a pill way? How?
Well, right now it's been done with injections. And
injections.
Ultimately, probably could do it with a nasal inhalation, but injections are how we'll start.
Oh.
Interesting. And how long before we see this on the market?
Good question. I think that the first human trials, from our standpoint, will probably begin in 1 or 2 years. We have to get an FDA license to begin it.
Got it.
So we'll see.
But let me ask you another thing. If I want to participate in something like that, how I do that? Imagine that I know that you may need some money, some funds, and things like that to do some more experiments or more advances. But if I would like to participate in something like that, and learn about that, and probably put some money on it, how I do that?
Well, I think that anyone who's interested in knowing more about this and participating in some way, probably be best to go to the website. It's called Telecyte.com. Telecyte, T-E-L-O-C-Y-T-E. It's a biotech company that's going to take this through the FDA trials.
Wow.
Again, if you need more information, that's where I'd start.
All right.
Well, sounds
fantastic. Fantastic.
Some great information there. Dr. Michael Fossel, neurobiologist. Pick up his book also. It's we always say it wrong. The telomerase, right?
As long as people understand you, it's right, Ethan.
The telomerase revolution, the enzyme that holds the key to human aging and will soon lead to longer, healthier lives. Dr. Michael Fossel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you very much. Very exciting, Phil. Thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you, sir.
Well, if you or someone you know is suffering with neck, back, or sciatic pain, make sure they reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute. They can find true resolve of their pain. They can do so at Bonati.com or 855-267-0483. Coming up next, we're going to hear what's been thickening up because there's a big stink. And we'll find out more when we listen to Barack's Crock.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by our radio friend and executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
Happy to be here.
Yep, and that gentleman over there, a world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Hello.
All right, well, it's that time to wind them up.
Now it's time to see what Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, President Obama, and the Democrats have simmering in Washington, D.C. Let's see what's cooking in Barack's crock.
And something stinks, so why don't you tell what it is, Doc?
We don't mean literally, like in this room what stinks.
No, with Barack's crowd.
Well, let me put it in this way. Remember when Obama sold us his horrendous healthcare program? That crap that went all over the country, Obamacare? Well, didn't he said that he's going to save $2,000 per
$2,500
or $2,500 per family, and the middle class will have an enormous, beautiful, great health care. You will keep your doctors, and you will keep your insurance, and all these lies.
The lie of the year, actually.
This is probably one of the governments that I ever saw in my life who lies in everything.
Oh yeah.
And everything that put his hands on something is a disaster. Now, look what's happening with Iraq.
Well, in Afghanistan, too.
Afghanistan.
That was one of his promises, was I'll pull everybody out of Afghanistan.
And also who was behind Benghazi and getting the
Oh,
people,
my God. Don't tell me about Benghazi. The lies of the Democrats on Benghazi are just something that's laughable.
But what difference does it make?
Oh, you're right.
All right.
Well, let me tell you this. Well, one thing that happened with Obamacare is not only they lied to us,
yes,
but today the health care in the middle class is really in shambles on health care. 8 companies were responsible. Eight companies were responsible to build Obamacare. They spent $600 million to do some type of a computerized system that will allow the people to have exchanges.
Right, but the Federalist actually stated that figure is much closer to 1.2 billion.
Exactly. They say that the reality of waste is close to 1.2 billion. Now, Obamacare also decided that it's going to really transform all this Medicaid system and gather 16 million people and put them on the Medicaid system.
Right.
Was not the Medicaid system a program only for low-income people and disabled?
Well, actually, they can do that because Obama, in all his glory, decided to take full-time employment from 40 hours to 30 hours, so it's less income. So maybe now they do qualify for Medicaid.
You're right. Another blow to the middle class.
Yes.
Now, the most important thing is when you go to Medicaid, you need to be properly checked for eligibility.
Right.
Because if you are making money, you cannot be eligible for Medicaid.
Supposedly.
Well, where's the eligibility of these 16 million people? Never happened.
Right.
All right.
The people that were set out to oversee that is non-existent.
Yeah. If it's existing, they are so corrupted as all the Democrats creating these problems. Well, because they are Democrats, because they are paid by the government to do this. Right. So they are employees of the government. So they're going to vote for the Democrats so they can survive. Now, after 5 years, this program is only harming. The harm that happens to society is incredible. And it's this terrible program is linked to increase in taxes 21 times for the business and middle class. Can you imagine the amount of damage for the middle class created by this program? And like every time that the government become involved in any type of an enterprise that can be better taken care by the private sector, you have waste, fraud, corruption, lies, and poor results. Good for the Democrats.
It's this whole administration.
Right. Yeah. What I find really funny, though, Doc, is that, for example, I have a cousin of mine, a female cousin, single mom, 2 kids, lives in New York. super liberal state. She's a social worker, likes to help people, super bleeding heart person who will defend Obama to the death. And anytime I post, a meme or something that's bashing Obama, she gets on my case about it. So there are still people out there, as rare as they are,
they want to live and die by it.
The unicorns of the world, because they're so rare, that still actually think that Obamacare is a good thing and that it's helping people.
Well, that is because probably she is in some type of exchange of Obamacare for the government. If you are a governmental person, if you're in a governmental program, absolutely, you're going to have a lot of benefits. So that is why these politicians and the Democrats try to gather incompetent, mediocres, irresponsible, liars, and all this group to the system so they can continue voting for them. But they don't understand that at the long time, in the long period, these people are going to be also paying for this irresponsible behavior because they are becoming practically slaves.
Yeah.
And then suddenly when they realize that they are slaves, it's going to be too late.
Yeah, it's already too late, I think. I mean, even when we get somebody new in office next year, or, in 2017, basically, they'll be sworn in. It's going to take a whole lot to overhaul and revamp.
But did you even get into this? The recent analysis by the CBO said that just by repealing the individual mandate, it would decrease spending by $311 billion over 10 years and reduce the federal deficit by $305 billion over that same time frame.
Well, at the same time, we need to elect Donald Trump. So we'll get all these people who's coming from other countries here that they don't have the qualities to stay in this country. Go home.
Yep.
Yeah,
and the ones that they are leaving from the government and being supported by the government, go home.
Okay.
And if you have a religion that you don't like, then you don't like to live with the religion that we have today, go home too.
Everybody go home.
Today. Check us out on Bloomberg both Saturdays and Sundays, and locally WFTS ABC 28 Saturdays at 7:30.
If you like to use barcodes on the system, go home too.
Go home. All right, Doc.
Bye.
See ya.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.